Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome back to Dueling Sabers, episode number 6. Today we have got, oh boy, there's a lot to talk about leading into the release of The Mandalorian Season 2 tonight at midnight. The 52-minute long episode is going to be amazing, so we've got to talk about that. We've got to talk about Boba Fett. There's a new, real interesting development on that front that was found, and of course, a new Mando and Baby Yoda painting that is currently on display in London, of all places. I mean, that's, of course, what happens when we talk about Star Wars here on Dueling Sabers. This podcast, this daily show, is really about what is going on in the Star Wars world, whether it's the movies, the comics, the books, and the world at large. And I just like geeking out on that. So, yeah, hope you guys are down for it. Hope you guys are here for it. So first things first, today I wanted to bring up this oh my God, this thing is so cool. This is fan art that was made by Phase Runner on Twitter, showing us like a what if scenario. What if when Mando crashes the Razor Crest on whatever ice planet that is, he encounters a Rancor? I mean, just look at that image right there. My God, that is just unbelievably sexy. That is unbelievably amazing. I honestly thought that was real this morning when I saw it for the first time. I woke up, I was kind of groggy. I look over at my phone and I see this thing and I'm like, oh wait, no, they didn't. They did not make it. Oh my God, I can't wait for it tonight. And then I find out that it's fan art. Yes, you sons of bitches. Fan art. But that's okay. That's okay. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm very much looking forward to whatever the episode brings tonight. I will be doing my review of it and then probably a breakdown. And then maybe Saturday we'll end up doing a live stream hangout to give you guys some time to watch it. And that way I'm not up until like 4 o'clock in the morning trying to talk to you guys. But I think Mando is going to be the biggest event of the fall season. And I'm, oh my God, I'm 100% there for it. So let's jump right into today's coverage. There's a lot going on there. So what we have here is, let's see, where is this at? We've got, there we go. Okay, so we've got an article popping up on StarWars.com saying, Inside Star Wars, the High Republic meet the villains. And this is, again, when we talk about the High Republic, which should have already been out a couple months ago, and the fact that it's been delayed until, when's it been delayed? Till January 6th, I believe. One of the more interesting facets of it, one of the more interesting aspects of it, has everything to do with trying to very much put themselves in a scenario where they're gonna be able to give us some amazing villains, because that's the whole point. That is the whole dang point. They have to give us good villains for us to. I don't just want to say fall like love to hate. There's that, but also in some aspects maybe empathize with, sympathize with, fall in love with, just really like. And that's basically what's happening here, in my opinion. Now I don't know for certain, but we'll find out. So it says here, in an exclusive series, StarWars.com is pulling back the curtain on Star Wars: The High Republic, a publishing epic set centuries prior to the events of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, with insights from creators, new details, and never-before-seen concept art. Arriving January 2021, the story will be explored through multiple voices and span adult and young adult novels, children's books, and comics from a variety of publishers. In this installment, Star Wars gets a look at some of the starring villains here. And it kind of goes through a bit of the history of just what to expect from like the Nihil, saying here that they are brutal, savage marauders based in the Outer Rim. This is coming from Charles Soule, who is the writer or the author of the novel Light of the Jedi. That's the one that's going to be dropping on January 6th. Saying they're the stuff of nightmares, able to appear almost at will. They use bizarre, intimidating tactics, chemical weapons, poison, anything that might kill you, they'll use. They're kind of like space Vikings, is my interpretation of the Nihil, and I'm looking forward. So you got some of that stuff. You've got the Martian Rowe, who says here that one of the faces of the Nihil, who promises to be a great addition to the tapestry of villains we love to hate. Saying Martian Rowe holds an important post within the greater Nihil organization. He is the eye of the Nihil. He was, or as was his father before him. All right. You know, the writer of the article was very happy to put that line in there. It says he doesn't give the orders. That's up to the Tempest Runners, but in a very real way, everything revolves around him. The things that make the Nihil more than just a bunch of Outer Rim raiders all come from Marchion. He's also in every sense a bad guy. And it's been fantastic building someone around which to focus the darker elements of our High Republic story. And, you know, I like the darker elements of Star Wars. I like the darker elements of these things. I might be alone on that front. I might be the only one here that thinks that. But I do. I like the darker elements. I think, like, yeah, this is definitely a kid's thing. But, like, you know, we can go a little bit dark with it. It's why I like the DCEU the way that I do. I like the darker elements. Now, the Nihil are truly unlike any other villain we've seen in Star Wars, says Daniel Jose Older, who's the writer of the IDW publishing the High Republic Adventure series. And he says, I'm really excited to go deep behind enemy lines in the IDW ongoing series and give readers a chance to learn about the inner workings of our most vicious, unyielding, and chaotic groups the galaxy has ever known. It just sounds cool. It just sounds cool in my book. So here we've got this very first concept art for what is called the Drengir. This thing looks like the stuff of nightmares, but also maybe kind of fuzzy wuzzy on a nice day. I don't know. Weird tentacle monster. I want to know what's going to happen with this thing. I'm hoping it's a very, very formative foe. We've got down here, we've got what appears to be the Nihil. Just a couple people in the Nihil, a Twi'lek and another race, Dathomir, maybe? I can't see their head, so you don't quite know where they're coming from, but these guys are armed to the teeth, and it looks like they're going to be very intimidating. And then we have a couple more of the Nihil this Nihil first one is, that aren't armored up like that, but that feel like they're more of like your lower level raiders, right? Like the guys, you know, the easy cannon fodder that a Jedi would just cut through. Like it's nothing, like it's literally nothing. And then we also get a look at Marchion Ro, who just looks cool, man. Like I can see a lot of people really like wanting to get a Black Series figure of this. It just looks like he's already set for a Black Series figure, maybe a Funko Pop. You know they're gonna sell it. It looks pretty sweet. I really want to know more about the characters and know more about all the other craziness that's gonna go into what the High Republic brings to the table when it comes out here in literally just a couple months. Look, you may not be digging it as much as I am, but the concept of it sounds pretty cool, and I've been very anxious to dive into something like this, so I'm looking forward to it. As always, I do want to hear your thoughts, so let me know that down in the comments section. The Verge penned an article today titled "The Mandalorian's second season is going to get more Star Wars-y in a good way." Now, with the show dropping in a couple hours, with the new episodes coming out, we're going to get a lot of op-eds like this, right? A lot of people that are going to come out and they're going to write all these stories like, oh my God, guys, did you know that The Mandalorian season 2 is set in Star Wars? And it's going to have a lot of Star Wars references. Did you guys know that? And that's essentially what this article is. The subheader here says, prepare to start learning a lot more about Star Wars history. This is, again, for the uninitiated. This article written by Chaim Gartenberg. You know, it's one of those ones you can tell. He's like, hey, I'm going to pitch you this story to drum up. We can get into the analytics. We can get into the algorithm of the Mandalorian and make that a thing for this episode. You know, that's what they're going to do today. But I mean, look, the episode is not a negative hit piece. All right. So I want to make, and not the episode, the article is not a negative hit piece. So I want to make that abundantly clear. This is an article that is telling you, like, look, if you don't know much about Star Wars and you found The Mandalorian easy to get into, The Mandalorian season 2 should be just about as accessible. Obviously, with the rumors coming in surrounding everything from Rebels, with and Ahsoka and everything else that's going to potentially be happening in this season, we don't fully know what all surprises are in store. However, if you are a fan, or if you've grown to appreciate it over the last year, you should be able to keep along with it. And if Disney, and by that I mean Favreau and Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy, all do their damn jobs right, then this should drive an absolute, like, massive amount of people to Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and maybe even Star Wars Resistance, which I do feel was highly underrated. And if you guys happen to be a Star Wars Resistance fan, let me know I'm not alone out there. All right, 2 seasons make sense for the show, but let me know I'm not alone. So this is just one of those articles you might see floating around, but again, it's just one of those things to get people kind of hyped up, and I appreciate that, even if it is relatively pointless. Now, the Hollywood Reporter is talking about Star Wars today too, and this to me is crazy cool. Except I'm not into VR, so if this is on the gaming side of things. If you happen to be a Quest 2 owner, you might like this here. So, and this also ties in with the High Republic. Saying here in an article, a Star Wars VR story lets players train under Yoda, which is dope because who doesn't want to learn from Master Yoda, right? But it's set during the High Republic. So it says the High Republic Initiative debuts with the first Tales from the Galaxy's Edge title. Now, obviously, there's synergy there. Obviously, the entire point was to make it synergistic, tying it into Galaxy's Edge so they can then bring merchandise from this, if it's popular enough, over to Galaxy's Edge. It's all part of Disney's plan. Let's be realistic here. However, it says Star Wars fans have even more reason to be excited about next month's launch of Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge than they knew. The first VR story in an anthology series centered around the Batu Cantina belonging to Sleazel Slack will also be the first chance the public will have to visit the High Republic in a new area of Star Wars publishing that launches early next year. Now, look, I'm totally cool with giving us more about Batu. I know they spent $1 billion on each park, so they need to find a way to tie it all together. But this does feel a little bit kind of on the nose, if I'm being honest with you. It feels like a little bit of like, crap, we have to find a way to tie it together. Okay, let's just make it work. Now, this is what we know about Temple of Darkness, which I love the name, by the way. In the first installment of the series, players will be transported hundreds of years before the events of Star Wars to see the Jedi in their prime and become a Padawan of none other than Yoda himself as the two investigate a mysterious temple overrun by something. Saying here that it's thrilling to see the era of the High Republic expand beyond the printed page, especially in regard to Master Yoda. This is being said by Lucasfilm Publishing creative director Michael Siglane. He says here, whether you're experiencing Tales from the Galaxy's Edge or reading about his exploits in IDW Publishing's upcoming comic book series, The High Republic Adventures, as well as some of our other books and comics in this era, fans will experience Yoda doing what he does best, teaching Padawans as only Yoda can. Now, to me, that's pretty cool. Again, we're talking about this synergistic approach. We're talking about this idea with these with Lucasfilm and with publishing and everything else to really tie this era together. Obviously, they want to make it a big thing in China. Obviously, they want it to be a big thing with fans. So then they're able to go out and make a lot of money off of it. But I like the tie-ins, man. It works for Marvel, kinda, right? Like it does. It overall, it works for Marvel. They're definitely pulling from Marvel on this, but it does feel like it's more of a contained universe rather than Marvel Comics versus Marvel movies. Now, let's see. 2 pages from the High Republic Adventures make their exclusive debut below, showcasing the young Yoda in action. Keep in mind, when they say young, he's 200 years old at the time of the High Republic. No, he's 500, 700 years. The dude is old, man. I think he's around 700 years old, maybe 650, 670 at max, right? Or at the least amount. Yeah, he's old anyway. Temple of Darkness is just the beginning for both Tales from the Galaxy's Edge and the High Republic, with both continuing through 2021 and beyond. Tales from the Galaxy's Edge will continue to allow fans to the opportunity to visit multiple locations in the Star Wars era, or in Star Wars history with new VR installments. Now, I kind of like that. I kind of don't. I mean, like, obviously Hoth, Tatooine, maybe Endor, Kashyyyk, maybe Kamino, maybe Naboo, right? Ilum, maybe Navarro. I don't know if they want to get into Mandalorian territory. Who knows? All I'm saying is, like, come on, guys, we can move past this. And the High Republic seems to be kind of expanding outward. So let's not delve too much into history. Let's not spend too much time there. And I think I'm not alone thinking that one too. So anyway, the cool thing about this is there's a trailer out. You should check out the trailer. It's pretty dope. Frank Oz is voicing Yoda. I knew it was Frank Oz. That, I don't have a Quest, but I'm going to definitely watch some YouTube playthroughs. So, and there's this whole, there's a huge interview here with the guy who made it. And you can kind of see some of the shots here of the comic book of what to expect out of Yoda. They're not done coloring. Well, at this point, it's just an early thing, but it looks pretty cool, man. I want to see Yoda F some S up. You know what I mean? I want to see him F some S up. So let me know your thoughts about that one, because I think it's going to be pretty cool. Now, jumping over here to a foreign language page. This is actually from EA EA themselves put this up, and they are actually looking for a software developer for Montreal, Quebec, Canada, from EA Motive. And the reason why is because they're working on a new Star Wars IP. So it says here, Motive is a new creative-driven studio incubating entirely new IP and taking on some amazing project. Led by Jade Raymond, if you happen to know anything about Assassin's Creed, the original in 2007, she was the executive producer or the creative lead on that one, and she's kind of an icon in gaming. Motive aims to redefine action games and bring the highest quality innovative games to players. If you are passionate about the games and motivated to push your craft further, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. The Frostbite Engine, which is a badass engine, gives you access to cutting-edge technology and tools. EA's network of studios allows you to collaborate with thousands of world-class developers. Motive gives you the chance to shape studio culture and games from the ground up. The team is starting immediately on an upcoming Star Wars action game, but will also be building an original IP. Now, so there we go. After Star Wars Squadrons, which just came out, as a $40, I think it's $30 right now during Halloween. They dropped it by $10. It's a fun game. If you like TIE Fighter versus X-Wing combat, right? If you want to get into Rogue Squadron type stuff here, then this is a game for you. It's a lot of fun. The single player is pretty good too. And it's worth your investment, especially if you have PSVR. Apparently it's badass in VR. That is something you can dive into, and that's EA Motive. Now, they're working on another Star Wars action game, and EA hasn't, they've only really done one single player one, this Jedi Fallen Order, which is an awesome game. So I don't know if this is going to be Jedi Fallen Order 2, or because, maybe giving the Battlefront franchise over to Respawn, which I believe I'm not the only one who thinks that they should give it to Respawn. But if they dive into this, if they're making Fallen Order 2, I think they do a pretty good job. Either way, more Star Wars games are coming from EA, be it good or bad. But it kind of feels to an extent like at this point they kind of realized their mistakes and they've been working to make it a bit better, I think, right? So obviously I want to hear your thoughts on that one. Are you excited for a new Star Wars video game? So this is something I showed earlier a little bit. This is the Baby Yoda immortalized with official portrait in London's National Portrait Gallery. The Mandalorian and Child installation marks the premiere of the Disney series' second season. And this is the woman who painted it. I don't know her name, but they did do a whole big thing here, saying the oil painting will hang beside portraits of other Star Wars figures like Alec Guinness, Felicity Jones, Thandie Newton, Riz Ahmed, Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, Ben Morris, who was the VFX supervisor. And then there is a Star Wars concept art created by Doug Chian, John Park, and Christian Alsman. So come for the baby, stay for the other treasures. And I couldn't find any other images of that, but that's in London. It's free for the weekend. And if you want to check out this image, obviously, of a baby Yoda, then you totally can. This is, again, the scene right there with the knob. We, prominently featured that cold open from the episode that everyone loves in memes to hell and back. It's right there. And if I lived in London, I would go and check it out in a heartbeat. I would brave COVID to go and see this, just to say that I did, but I don't. And if they bring it to Seattle, then I definitely will brave COVID to go and check it out. So I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on that one, because it looks pretty cool, and I appreciate art, and I appreciate Star Wars art. So there's that. So all right, let's jump into the last story here. This is the last thing, the big thing. According to yakface.com, this has been making its way around since yesterday. I missed this last night after recording. Apparently, new Lucasfilm Boba Fett filing as of October 23rd, 2020, so just a week ago, via the United States Patent Trade Office. Saying here, this is Lucasfilm trademarking the word Boba Fett for fiction books in the field of science fiction and fantasy, series of fiction books, blank journals, binders, clipboards, posters, notebooks, trading cards, first use in commerce. What does this mean? Well, merchandise, let's be fair, marketing, all that kind of stuff. And why are they wanting to do it? Why are they wanting to bring back Boba Fett? Is it perhaps that Mandalorian Season 2 drops tonight? Is it that Mandalorian Season 2 premieres and that we're going to finally learn the fate of Boba Fett, as has been hinted at now for practically a year? Is that going to happen when we sit down to watch this thing? I don't know. but they renewed the trademark. All right, they renewed the trademark for it. And it's an update to the 2010 one here, as brought by Boba Fett Fan Club, they say here that it was for toy action figures, action figure accessories, namely connecting toy links, namely toy building blocks, construction toys, children and adults dress up accessories, namely toy helmets for play, dashboard driver figurines, namely bobblehead dolls, which I actually have one of those, and modeled plasticky figures. So this is a different filing, and so they are clearly looking at here. This is for science fiction and fantasy series, for blank journals, binders, clippers. Again, it's all merchandising, but there's a reason why, because look at everything going on with Baby Yoda and Mando, right? They've dumped a massive merchandise and marketing initiative for it. Even today, my girlfriend bought another Baby Yoda from Costco for $20. This one had the frog, it had the knob, and it had the teacup. So they were leaning into the memes for the show, because they know that it's going to sell. So they don't want to be caught off guard. So they are refiling their trademark for Boba Fett in order to be able to make sure that, all things considered, man, that they're going to get their hands on everything, that they're going to be able to put this thing out there. They're going to dump Boba Fett merch when we finally see him in the show. I guarantee they're going to do that. So that, of course, is everything I got for today. There's a good amount to talk about, a good amount to go over. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to give you an overview of what's happening with Star Wars. As always, I love doing Dueling Sabers. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Dueling Sabers. Please leave your comments below. I look forward to them. If you've made it this far, type in Boba Fett into the chat box so I know. If you're listening to this on iTunes or podcast, please follow me on Twitter at mjarbo. And to stay up to date on everything else going on, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again for listening. Have yourself a great night. Come back later for Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1 review, and then breakdown and, of course, discussion this weekend. I cannot wait. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great